Meeting to order.
Oh, that's
First,
really
we'll have the
high.
flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Brett, will you lead us in a prayer, please?
Please pray with me. Father, we thank you for all of the blessings that you bestow on us each and every day. We're thankful for our families, friends, co-workers, town, and state in a free nation in which we live. Please be with our Olympians who are in South Korea. May they be successful and return home winners in their own right, albeit earning a medal or not. Also help our world leaders gain a new sense of humanitarianism by observing the way our athletes work together for a common good. Thank you for our students, teachers, and staff members. Help the leaders in our state to see the importance of public education and the impact it has on the lives of all of us here in Oklahoma. Also be with our men and women of the armed forces as they serve to protect and defend this great nation. Bring them home safe and soon. We ask this in your name. Amen.
This time we'll have roll call.
Dr. Kincaid.
Here.
Mr. Newsom.
Here.
Mr. Riley.
Here.
Mrs. Truth.
Present.
Mrs. Zimmershed.
Here.
This time we'll have the presentation of the Employee of the Month and Friend of Education Awards. The first will be Certified Employee of the Month, Wendy Landis, PE teacher at Trout.
Okay, here we go. It's an honor to present Wendy Landis with the February Certified Employee of the Month Award. Ms. Landis is a PE/health teacher at Trout Elementary. Ms. Landis is a competitor. She teaches her students good sportsmanship as well as skills. She focuses on physical skills that can carry the student through life. She balances throwing, yoga, boot camp, and basketball skills. Within all of the physical skill development, she weaves team-building strategies, a much-needed skill in today's world. In addition to her duties in the gym, Ms. Landis guides our students in the Challenge program. She individualizes the program to meet the needs of her students. Our Challenge students have been enriched with extra STEM activities, writing proposals, and community outreach projects. They are a team of researchers, thanks to Wendy. Ms. Landis is a true child advocate. Wendy has the ability to look beyond the inappropriate behavior. She sees the needs of individuals and creates interventions that help meet these needs. Ms. Landis is an effective educator who builds positive relationships with her students, parents, and coworkers. By building these relationships, she is able to garner productive collaboration that benefits her students. She is truly appreciated by students and staff. Thank you, Ms. Landis.
The next award goes to the Support Employee of the Month, Donnie Edwardson, East Middle School custodian.
I'm honored to present Donnie Edwardson with this award. Donnie works tirelessly to get East Middle School back in shape when we had it torn down for construction. He works with all our teachers to find the missing things, and he fixed whatever might have got broken or damaged during the move, and they did every bit of it with a smile and a joke. East Middle School would not be the place it is without him. He starts every day with a smile and goes out his way to spread joy and be jovial. Days he's missing, his absence is noticed not just by the teachers and staff, but also by the students. We are beyond blessed to have Donnie in our building.
The last award is Friends of Education, Little Caesars Pizza, Wildcat Academy volunteer.
Little Caesars earned the Friends of Education Award because of their generosity towards Wildcat Academy. When we were fundraising for United Way, we told our students that the winning class would get a pizza party. I talked to Little Caesars to discuss the situation and set up our pizza party time. When I went to collect and pay for the pizzas, Little Caesars wanted to donate the 14 pizzas. Thank you, Little Caesars, for your kindness.
The 3 award winners now can go with the photographer and go out there in the hall and they'll get your picture, please. Thank you all. This time we'll have the superintendent's report.
All right, I wanted to give a report on the Step Up Oklahoma plan, and I didn't prepare a PowerPoint presentation because this is an ever-evolving plan. It's been really busy at the Capitol last week with the start of the regular session and the simultaneous start of the second special session. And due to the debilitating cuts in budgets in Oklahoma of about $100 million, it's cut our core agencies, education, healthcare, mental health care, to the point where we're at or near our breaking point. So a diverse group of Oklahomans that included individual businessmen and organizations came up with the Step Up Oklahoma plan due to the past failed efforts of our legislators. And our legislators actually listened and took that to heart. And last Thursday, I believe it was the 8th, the Senate Budget Committee and the House Budget Committee both passed 2 parts of this bill which are particular interest to teacher. House Bill 1030 XX, XX stands for the second special session, and House Bill 1033. 1030XX was the $5,000 raise for teachers across the board, and 1033XX was the revenue bill to fund that. And we actually had a contingency of 5 teachers and 5 administrators who went to the Capitol today on our own leave and on our own per diem costs to talk to our legislators and to rally for support of this bill. And the last word that we heard, it did not pass the House. Obviously, we started with House Bill 1033, so for any revenue-raising measure, we have to have a 75% majority vote. That means we had to have 76 members of our House vote yay. Last check, we had 63 members vote yay. That means we need 13 more members of the House to vote yay. The Speaker of the House has decided to keep the vote open until midnight, which he can legally do. So we've got less than 6 hours for legislators to twist each other's arms and come to an agreement for this to pass or not. Some of the revenue-raising measures, if passed, had to do with wind energy tax, fuel tax, tobacco tax, some gaming restructuring, restructuring of the tax code. That bill was voted on first, and obviously the revenue-raising measure has to pass before we can go on to the 1030, which is the teacher raise. Now, there are 10 bills within the Step Up Oklahoma plan that range from 1027 to 1037XX, and really, I was going to summarize those to you tonight if we were sitting in a different place right now. So we're going to continue to watch the clock and hope that we can turn 13 votes for this plan. Zach, our ACT president, told me they got to stay a little bit later because we were coming back for the board meeting, that some of our legislators wanted to come up with a better plan, and some of our legislators would not vote to raise taxes. So that's where we are. We do not have the supermajority for the revenue-raising portion. So we'll see what the next steps are in the legislature.
Our state representative vote.
Representative Vaughn and Representative Pfeiffer both voted yes. Yay. And in fact, I got a picture of the board from Representative Vaughn. of the voting board so that he would know that he supported our teachers and education. So, with that said, we're going to have a presentation, and then Zach, our ACT president, is going to talk to us a little about Oklahoma Education's plan, Together We're Stronger, which was actually a piggyback plan off of Step Up Oklahoma. So he'll talk to you about that, and we'll see where we go with Step Up Oklahoma in just a few minutes. Any questions from the board about where we are with the Step Up Oklahoma plan? There were, I would say, probably 3,000 educators at the Capitol today in support of this. So we'll see. And that's it for me.
At this time, we'll have the presentation of potential Lincoln Orff Ensemble. Amy, Majid?
Nick.
Majid, sorry.
I'm the only person you ever called by a good person. Gave up on my last name.
I will. Okay. While they're getting into their place, I'll talk just a little bit about this. Orff is a method of teaching music. And in the early 20th century, there was 3 methods that got developed. And I've studied all of them, but for Lincoln School, when I came here 8.5 years ago, I came to the conclusion pretty quickly that Orff was the best method to work with these kids. And so I have worked on writing grants and various sundrious things. Sorry, little problem. Elementary kids, things happen. Okay, and we've collected a lot of instruments as we've done this. And mostly you see the xylophones, which are made out of wood. However, we've gotten a little bit less expensive ones, and these are made out of fiberglass. I joke, the old wooden one, if I bought a brand new one, that model today, it's $1,899. The fiberglass ones are about $600. So we've gone to fiberglass. And they're based on an African instrument that they chose to make that from. And mostly we do play a lot of folk instruments. If you come to folk songs. So if you come to our concert on March 15th, you're going to hear songs from Africa, from Haiti, from Mongolia. We have quite a variety. So we do a lot of multicultural stuff. And then, of course, you have the glockenspiels here in front. We're substituting a metallophone because we're short a xylophone. We've got a djembe that's doubling as a timpani, and we've got a timple block over there. Now, these kids come after school on Mondays. They practice from 3 o'clock until 4:30, so they've made a long commitment here. And they are part of a bigger group, which is the choir/Orff group. But this is the select group that's going to Orff Festival on Saturday in El Reno, Oklahoma. 7 schools are going to it. We will be doing a movement piece for one of the songs. We will be doing this piece, one of the pieces that we're going to play for you tonight. We're going to be doing the instrumental part for that. So it's a really fun festival because each school does a movement piece and each school does an instrumental piece. And we rotate the kids through, and the rest of the time we sing. So our first song tonight is actually one we're going to sing. Since I obviously don't have another school to play for it, I'm going to fill in on bass xylophone. And so our first song is Queen Caroline, so please stand up.
Queen Caroline, she washed her hair in turpentine, turpentine.
knew, I just did a carnival singing. I stepped over and sneezed. So everyone see me? I'm guilty. Our next song. Okay, this is our instrumental piece. And we got to get set for this one. Now, you heard them sing in what most of you guys know is a round. You heard where we started one, we started the second. Technically, that is called a canon in music. We call it a round too, but mostly it's called a canon. Well, this piece is also, my younger students are here with their siblings. We do lots of canons in ORF too, and this piece has a canon. And it's a little complicated, but I think you'll hear it. They're going to sing it at the beginning, but then they're strictly going to play it. We're going to have like 120 people behind us singing it Saturday. Just imagine them singing it, okay? So this is, and I should say, the ones we're doing this year for ORF Festival, this is the 50th anniversary for the American Orff Schulberg Association. So this festival is based on the various things that we do in ORF for the 50th anniversary. And what you just heard was a nursery rhyme, Queen Caroline. I don't know if you want to wash your hair in turpentine, but she did. And this one is called Ding Dong Diggy Diggy Dong. So here we go.
Guys, good job. Very good. Thanks, Miss Maggie.
So have any of you all washed your hair in turpentine? Don't do it. I wouldn't recommend it.
Did you?
He has.
No.
That's what happened.
That's what happened.
That's what happened.
End up like, that's what happens.
I like that teacher. I like it a lot.
Oh, she is. She's a good girl.
Good job, kids. Good job.
Guys.
Be good.
Lots of little brothers and sisters here tonight.
I just needed to stay on. Wait.
Typical kids leave their coats.
Thanks, Amy. We appreciate
Does
it.
that not surprise you?
No.
She likes it.
It always happens. Coats are left.
Enthusiastic.
All the time.
She's, you can tell, she
Oh.
is all in.
I like Robin.
Yeah, I would love to have it. I mean, you know, I have strict teachers, but she's like, in the patience.
It was a good job.
At this time, Zach Murray, ACT President, is going to talk to you on OEA Together. We are stronger, the town hall meeting.
Good evening. And my name is Zach Murray. I'm the president for the Ponca City Association of Classroom Teachers. And I'm also on the OEA Board of Directors. And since the last regular session and the first special session with the failure of the state legislature to put together an appropriate and constitutional budget plan, the Oklahoma Education Association, with the group of other, and a coalition of other education groups, put together a plan that would fix the budget hole and also provide more funding than what we have seen in 10 years. So we have 6 major goals. First is a significant funding increase. This plan raises $1.5 billion over 3. I'm going to come back to the goals as I go to their individual slides. But the plan raises $1.5 billion over 3 years by using the Save Our State Coalition's budget blueprint. The Save Our State Coalition was formed last year during the regular session with the efforts and input from the Oklahoma Policy Institute, a nonpartisan think tank that looked at a variety of revenue-raising measures by increasing some taxes and eliminating some tax incentives. That budget blueprint is at the SaveOurStateOK.org website. There's a executive summary kind of outlining where everything's going, and then a much more detailed plan that kind of gets into the weeds, so to speak, over where everything's going. So if you're interested in that, you can look at that there. The significant classroom funding increase would be $200 million over 3 years, and this is money that would go directly into classrooms. So textbooks, class curricular materials, potentially increase or be able to hire additional teachers and other education staff to do the work of the classroom. The second goal is to increase teacher pay by $10,000 over a 3-year period. Our teachers have not had a pay raise in 10 years. The $5,000 pay raise bill being heard right now would get us to where we would be if our pay had kept pace with inflation, and actually just a little bit under that. So the $10,000 is really necessary to bring us up to what our buying power should be and increase that to keep teachers in Oklahoma. One of our teachers graduated from Cameron University and went through their education program, and he emailed a former professor who said that their program can guarantee their graduates will have a job because that's how short we are in teachers. But we don't have many students going into education programs. And so increasing the pay, while it's not everything, it will help in retaining and recruiting those educators that we need. This plan would also would also increase our education support personnel pay by $5,000 over 3 years. They haven't had a pay raise either. And we can't do our job as teachers without our support staff. The secretaries to keep our buildings running and letting us know what we need to know to get students where they need to be, our janitors, our bus drivers, our cafeteria workers, all the support staff make our schools run. Without them, we'd fall apart. A cost of living adjustment for all retirees, a 5% increase. They haven't had an adjustment either in 10 years. This one has an estimated cost of $0 because this can be done within the pension systems, but it does require legislation that would allow that to happen. So that one's a little bit on the complicated side compared to some of the others. And also increase core agency funding to address understaffing and safety issues. We've heard about the understaffing in the prison system. We know about the understaffing with the Department of Health and all these other wraparound services that education relies on, as well as $7,500 pay raise for state employees over 3 years, as they haven't had a pay increase. And then finally, I know this says strengthen OEA locals and engage all members, but really what we're looking at here are all stakeholders. It's not just teachers, it's everyone. It's the state employees, it's the retirees, it's all stakeholders, parents, students, school board members, grandparents, everyone involved in public education is involved with this. Without everyone's input, we're not going to be successful in this. We say together we're stronger, and we are. A collective voice is heard much louder than a single voice. The plan is ambitious. It's going to be tough. We have some of the most restrictive revenue-raising laws in the country. It's going to take a lot of work to convince our legislators that have insisted on that we don't have a revenue problem, that we have a spending problem, that no, we have a revenue problem. We can't keep there's nothing left to cut, is what it comes down to. And this plan will spread the pain, so to speak. No one industry is singled out over the others. Everyone will have skin in the game. But without this, Oklahoma is going to continue to decline. I was born and raised in Oklahoma. I have friends from college who moved away from Oklahoma. They don't seem to want to come back. They see all the negatives in Oklahoma, and I'm like, I don't know that I'd want to be anywhere else. And I'm ashamed that we talk about supporting public ed. We see bills that would give teachers a pay raise with no funding attached. It's not a pay raise if there's no funding. We need to stick together, visit with our legislators, hold them accountable. If they say they're going to vote for public ed, make sure they vote for public ed. If they don't, vote them out. Together we're stronger and we can accomplish this. We have a local action plan that we've been working on. We're in the middle of executing the session plan, communicating with our legislators. The ACT has pre-addressed postcards to Senator Fields and Representative Vaughn. We had a town meeting a few weeks ago where some of those were filled out, and then I hand-delivered a few of those today as teachers didn't get them into the mail to make it before today's vote. Both of those members of the legislature are on board with this plan. Vaughn voted, as Ms. Ehret said, voted yes this afternoon. Fields has indicated that if it passes the House, he'll be voting yes, and that the Senate should be passing it. We're also continuing to work with our legislators over the legislative session. I'm going to be visiting them at the Capitol, making contacts there. And again, this is a 3-year plan. This isn't something we're going to accomplish just in this session. The step-up plan is a first step. The $5,000 pay raise is only half of what this plan calls for, so we're going to continue working on this. And I'm drawing a blank. There was something with this. Oh, all the legislation needed for all of the goals that require bills has sponsors and co-sponsors in both the House and the Senate. So there are senators and representatives that are willing to back the Oklahoma Education Association and the rest of the coalition on this and ensure that it gets heard. So we are prepared for that, and we are working hard towards that. The coalition consists of a few of the members are the Save Our State Coalition, Oklahoma Education Coalition, Oklahoma Public Employees Association, Keep Oklahoma's Promises Pension Coalition, over 50 OEA local associations, Fight for Funding Public Support, and I don't have that on there. Included in some of those coalitions, Oklahoma Education Association, COSA, State School Board Association, a wide variety of other groups as well. Are there any questions? Thank you.
We don't have anybody here for public comments, so we'll move on to item 6. building assessment review from Thad Dilbeck at the high school and Trenton Murner at East.
He's west.
I mean West, I'm sorry.
Good evening. Like Dr. Kincaid said, I'm Thad Dilbeck. I'm the principal at the high school. I'm here to share some our POHI's current reality, share some things that we've got going on at the high school currently. The first slide there shows you our most recent graduation rate of 86.25%. That's up about 1.25%. A couple years ago, we set a goal of aiming for a 90% graduation rate before the year 2020, and we're steadily headed that direction. We're pretty proud of that number and the growth we're making in that area. This slide, as you'll see, looks a little different this year than what you've seen in years past. On the right, you have our most recent POHI average ACT score of 20.6. In the middle, you see the state average of 19.4, and then you don't see a national average. We're kind of in a transition there, and one of the reasons I didn't put a national average up there is there are several states who everybody's testing. There are several states that are doing it like we've done the ACT forever, where only college-bound students are testing. And I'll be, just so that I can be as transparent as possible, this past year we were kind of all over the place within the state of Oklahoma. Some schools tested everybody. Some schools tested only those who chose to test. At POHI last year, we tested every junior who wanted to test. Our numbers that we tested increased greatly, but we still didn't test every junior like we will this spring during state testing. So again, I fully expect our ACT numbers to decrease going next year when I'm giving this report, just because we are testing every junior for the first time. And then we'll kind of draw a line in the sand and see where we're at, and we'll continue to get better at the ACT. I've got to tell you guys, I'm pleased that we're taking the ACT, and I hope that we just continue to take the ACT for some time, just so we can have some continuity as far as state testing goes and what is expected from us, because I think we can all agree that we'll get better at things as long as they don't keep changing we don't have to keep changing the target. All right. Here's some ways that we're addressing some of our deficiencies. Taking students during MUST who don't need remediation is something that some of our elective course teachers practice for us, so that our core teachers, our tested subject teachers, can focus on those students who do need remediation. And number two, we have teaching across curriculum. For example, our English 3 and our U.S. history, or excuse me, should say English there, and our histories will work together. Our sciences and our maths will work together to reinforce concepts. And these are just some examples. Our art classes can work with a geometry class to reinforce some concepts there. Number 3 says Oklahoma and world history will support U.S. history. Although we're not testing this year in U.S. history, we fully expect next year to be testing in U.S. history again. Continued improved utilization of common formative assessments, assessments that we use throughout a subject, so that all teachers can gauge how well they're teaching, so that for example, one Algebra 1 teacher can compare it to another Algebra 1 teacher who's having the most success in a particular area of the curriculum, and then teachers can work together to help themselves improve through PLCs. The next one, continued efforts to strengthen the PLC process. We're all aware, I think you're all aware of what the PLC process is. That's deeply ingrained at Po High. It's a healthy process. We have to recharge our batteries there every now and then, and I think oftentimes in either during PDs at our site or during faculty meetings. I think it's important for me to kind of refocus all of our teachers on exactly what we're trying to do with the PLC process, kind of get out of the weeds a little bit and have a clearer picture of what's going on. We spent a lot of time in this year and at the end of last year of emphasizing the last one there, emphasized focus on ACT type questions in the classroom. Whether we're using retired questions, whether we're using that as a bell ringer to get something started, but getting those style of questions in front of kids more and more often, because that is how we're going to be measured now. So we want kids beginning their freshman year to be exposed to those types of questions over and over and over and over again. Like I was just talking about, we'll include those in the assignments, bell ringer activities, and also, you may or may not be aware, for years we've had an ACT prep course that we offered as an elective at the high school. But that was always, in years past, a course that was more focused towards students who knew they were going to go to college, and we were trying to score the highest ACT as we could, which is still important to a lot of our students. But we know now that we've got to prepare different styles of students to focus. So we're changing the focus of the ACT prep. Did you give me one of these, Shelley?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Po High initiatives. Careers and cookies. This is something that we work on with the Ponca City Development Authority. We're trying to expose our senior students who maybe aren't college bound to the different things that they can, the opportunities that they have right here in Ponca City to go to work. You can see that they talk about career planning and job shadowing and resume writing. There's a lot of things that they get to do there, and it culminates with a time where they come and employers come up there and eat lunch with them and talk to them about future employment. Next is our internship program. Mr. Behe is the coordinator of that. We've started that this year. We've got it going this semester. Juniors and seniors can earn a credit, and they are going around the community 2 hours a day and working there in an internship capacity. These are some of the schools and businesses in town who we currently have internships working at those locations daily. We run the gamut there, from some of our own schools to Alliance Health to Bet Your Law to an architect. Also, if you haven't seen it, let us know. We'll send you the link. We do video announcements now. We have some newscasters and some sportscasters up there, and something that Mr. Buller and Miss Jolly have going. It's really, really neat, and we're just scratching the surface there. Very quickly. Earlier, Ms. Errett talks about funding problems, and just now Zach talked about funding problems. And it's very easy in this business to sing the blues and get feeling bad for yourself all the time. We determined last spring that we're going to try to make Po High a place where teachers want to be and where we want to be, and we're going to try to have a little fun. And we did that with a number of things. One of those being a monthly dress-up day that is just for faculty and staff. The kids don't know when we're going to do it, and it runs the gamut. You can see Mr. Grimes there in the upper right. He's dressed like a Disney princess there. But we've got all kinds of things going on up there, and we've got another one coming up here very soon. Also, we're continuing to increase our parent contact initiative. We're having teachers contact parents when needed, teachers contact parents to brag on students, and we're implementing the Wildcat Way. I know you guys have seen that, but that's an important part of our culture up there, and that's my last slide, and that last minute lasted a long time. I appreciate your time. Any questions? Thank you.
Thad's done a great job. Oh, we have potential discussion, don't we? Thad's done a great job of building culture at the high school. It's been one of his main goals this year, and he has followed through, and they're working hard at the high school. Teachers are having fun and working hard.
My name's Trent Murner. I'm the principal at West Middle School, and I'm going to just talk a little bit about where our data is from last state test and what we're kind of projecting out, looking forward, and what we're doing at West just to hopefully make our students be as successful as they can be. This first slide is basically showing our West Middle School scores for language arts, and then it also has our state average. So if you look at the West part, notice our 6th and 7th grade. Our 6th grade is at 39% proficient. Our 7th grade was at 40% proficient. And then if you look at the state scores, our 6th grade was right kind of on par with the state average. And then our 7th grade has a pretty good jump for that, so we're pretty happy about that. Math, again, same setup, 6th and 7th grade. Notice our 6th grade is at 35%. It's the exact same as what our state average is. Our 7th grade has a really big jump at 44%, which is a lot higher than the state average. Obviously, those scores, we want them higher. I think the state wants them higher. But just within the transition year and all the new guidelines that we're going through, this is kind of what we're working for. But the positive thing is we're right at state average or above, especially in our 7th grade category. So just to kind of explain a little bit, if you notice our 6th grade scores are down or lower from our 7th grade scores, and we think part of that is, and a big part of that is just the transition. So when you have 5th graders coming into 6th grade and you have that transition from middle school or from elementary into middle school, that's a pretty big transition. You're going from a kind of a single setting classroom to basically going into a bigger building, and you're changing classes every period, and there's different guidelines for every subject and different responsibilities for every classroom, and it's a big transition for our 6th grade. So generally, you'll see our scores in 6th grade be lower than our 7th, and then you see the 7th grade scores rise up. One of the things that we're looking at is just really looking at our transition and what can we do to make that transition easier for our students that are coming from the elementaries. We have 5th grade visitation where the 5th graders get to come and they get to experience West Middle School. That'll be coming up. We're looking at some transition nights for parents and students, and these would be kind of extra. I would like to do some, this year going into next year, and then I would like to do some before the school year starts next year, just to kind of hopefully communicate expectations and get the students and parents a little bit more comfortable with that transition. So that's one thing that we're looking at. We use Renaissance. A lot of people know it as STAR, and this is a program that our teachers use at West. They use it all the time. This is where we kind of benchmark our students in reading and in math. So our top graph our top chart shows STAR reading. And if you notice, it has unsatisfactory, limited knowledge, proficient, advanced. And we look at the proficient, advanced, because that's what we want our kids to be at. And we're projecting pretty high in all of those categories. If you look at 6th grade reading right now, we're projecting at about 70%. 7th grade, we're projecting at 78% proficient. And then if you go down to the math part, that bottom chart, we're projecting at 6th grade at 76% and 7th grade at 73% proficient, which are really good numbers. Like I said, it's a projection. This is actually projecting out to April 2018, right when our state testing, when we'll start testing again. So hopefully those projections hold, and we can have a better idea of what our state tests are going to look like on year 2. Just some points of interest and focus for us. One thing is just to increase rigor. Our state tests, if you kind of look at the breakdown, there's going to be more DOK4, which is depth of knowledge 4 type questions. Those are going to be questions where our students have to justify or explain. They have to create, they have to prove. And a lot of times, they don't get to practice those types of things. So we're looking to up those lessons, get more of those questions that they're going to be able to know how to work through that, and then hopefully that leads to more students scoring proficient. Number 2, we're always going to analyze our data. state test scores, our STAR test scores. Like I said, teachers, we STAR test every month, and the teachers do a great job of looking at that data and trying to see where we need to remediate, where we need to improve. And then 3, focused interventions and using our CFAs, which is common formative assessments. CFAs are a good way. Our teachers are very good at those. They're kind of checkpoints. And so when they do those CFAs, they can see which students understood the material, which students need to maybe progress a little bit more, and that's where we kind of get our targeted remediation. Our last period of the day is all hands on deck. It's kind of our advisory period. So during that time, our teachers have certain days, and they can actually pick students that they want to remediate, and they have a smaller setting. While the other students go down to our all hands on deck, and I'll explain that in a little bit. And then also this provides us PLC time for our teachers to kind of talk about their subject. If a student gets sent down to all hands on deck, basically they're working on reading, they're reading a book, or they're working on ST Math, which is one of our computer programs that we use. We have Math Plus, Reading and Fluency Lab, basically just to help students that might need a little bit extra help in some of those subject areas. So basically some kids might have 2 math classes. They have a regular ed math class, and then they might be in a Math Plus also. We have after-school tutoring for math and language arts. After-school guided study, which is basically just some more help for students that need it. We are piloting a program called Start on Time. This is from Safe and Civil Schools, and really what their goal is to maximize classroom time and limit disruptions. And it's also to build capacity, leadership capacity within our staff. And we've been impressed with it. Our tardy numbers have gone down, classroom disruptions have gone down, and hopefully we're instilling some leadership qualities within our staff with that too. Continue the PLC process, data days, and adjusting curriculum to meet student needs. So this is just some of the things. We have a great staff at West, very proud of what they do, and we're gonna do whatever we can to let our students succeed. So, any questions?
What's your average class size?
That's a kind of a tricky number. Technically, towards our teachers, we're, if you take number of students and staff, we're looking at it about 18 if you divide all of our teachers. But some of our, that's counting special ed teachers that have smaller classrooms. The regular ed classroom, we're probably running anywhere from, I would say it's a good average of probably 26, 27.
What would you like it to be?
25 would be a good number. I think if we could get it lower, the lower the better, but 25 would be a nice number to have. Right now we have teachers that have 33 as our max. We have some classes with 33 in it, but really I try to keep that number right now at about 30 if we can. So 25 would be nice.
That's not the majority of your classes.
No.
Some anomalies out
Yeah,
there.
there's some different ones. Yeah, our math plus classes are a little bit smaller, so we can really, help those kids and get more one-on-one. Our electives are full. We have about 6 electives, but we have a few coaches out at the end of the day and things like that.
Are you okay with electives that you have?
Yeah, we would always take more. If we could get 1 or 2 electives, it'd be nice. But yeah, we're happy with the electives that we have.
Happy with the course offerings.
Course offerings, yes.
The course offerings. They struggle last period with those coaches
Yeah.
that go to sports at the high school. It's hard on West.
Yeah.
End of the day, and we recognize that.
Yes. Anything else? All right, thank you.
Good job, Trent. It's been a smooth transition for Trent. As you know, he replaced Curtis when he came down here, and Trent comes from a middle school background, and he's hit the ground running. He's done a great job. Thank you to both of you. You've both done a great presentations tonight.
You guys leaving?
You don't want to stay?
No.
Just keep on running. Go.
Good job.
See you. Thanks so much. Go back. Have a great rest of your evening.
Is there something in the high school or thinking outside the box?
Okay.
I'm always getting outside the box, sometimes. Like taking some of the top kids out of the high school, and send them over there, work with the math students out of the high school.
We haven't done that, but
I mean, is there any way possible doing that? 'Cause you got some of these kids that,
we
these
could.
kids, and they got, they already know what they're doing, the math that's going on. Why can't you get them over there and entrench them in with the little kids, with the
It would
seventh grader,
take
the
some
eighth grader?
structuring,
You know,
obviously.
sometimes, or English, or any of those stuff. I mean, because some of those kids, they don't, you know how they do make A's and 4.7s or 4.1s or whatever they've got. And there's got to be some time that they could use. We could use their little brains to help teach those kids, to help them maybe one-on-one or two-on-one or three-on-one, something like that. Just a thought. I didn't know if you guys had ever thought of that.
But with that, they're on a mission to go to school, so they're going to go to NOC or, they're.
A lot of our
that's hard.
students do concurrent enrollment, and when we went from 6-period day to 7-period day, consequently, our kids are racking up credits faster than on a 6-period day. And then we have the issue with transportation, getting the
But I mean,
kids
there
over
ought to
there.
be something where maybe if they do this, they get a credit for it. Yeah.
It just started this semester.
There's a lot of students, you saw on that whole west side of that.
Because you're giving them credit for it.
Right.
Right,
2 periods, they get 1 credit.
I just thought maybe down the road they'd help those
Well,
little kids, get a kid on kid to.
and
if
it
they
will.
could- if they
That
could do
will
that,
be
it'll make them stronger.
a good bridge with the internship. And as we mentioned, it just started this semester, kind of planned that first semester, but it'll continue to grow and develop. And
Just something I wanted to ask about.
we have a few still interested in education, interning in education.
Both, yeah.
Item 7, consent agenda. Need a motion, please?
Yeah, motion to approve 7.
Motion's been made. A second, please.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
We talked about all these things in finance and vetted about everything on the page.
Sure she did.
That's a nice way of saying it, isn't it?
Yeah, I can always count on you.
Then
So
we'll
when you
vote.
say that we've got everything, I feel we've got everything.
Mr. Newsom?
Aye.
Mr. Riley?
Aye.
Mrs. Troop?
Aye.
Mrs. Zimmershed?
Aye.
Dr. Kincaid?
Aye. 8.4, consider and take action on declaring March 2nd, 2018 as Read Across America Day in the
You
Ponca City
skipped a
Public
page,
Schools.
David.
Huh?
You skipped a page.
You skipped
I
that
did?
too.
Great. Put that together.
Yes, they are. I'm sorry. 8. 8, action items. 8.1, consider and take action on the following district financial reports.
Again, I'll move to approve 8.1. We talked about all those again in the Finance Committee.
We did.
Any discussion? Then we'll vote.
Mr. Riley?
Aye.
Mrs. Troop? Mrs. Zimmershed?
Aye.
Dr. Kincaid?
Aye.
Mr. Newsom?
Aye.
8.2, consider and take action to change the date of the April 2018 regular school board meeting.
Motion approved.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote.
Mrs. Troop? Aye. Mrs. Zimmershed?
Aye.
Dr. Kincaid?
Aye.
Mr. Newsom?
Aye.
Mr. Riley?
Aye.
Consider and take action, 8.3, consider and take action on the Ponca City School District calendar for the 2018-2019 school year. Motion,
Yes, I'll motion to
second,
approve.
I'll second it.
any discussion? Vote.
Mrs. Zimmershed?
Aye.
Dr. Kincaid?
Aye.
Mr. Newsom?
Aye.
Mr. Riley?
Aye.
Mrs. Troop?
8.4, consider and take action declaring March 2nd, 2018 and as Read Across America Day in Ponca City Public Schools.
Make a motion for 8.4.
Motion's been made, a second.
I'll second it.
Discussion. Vote.
Dr. Kincaid?
Aye.
Mr. Newsom?
Aye.
Mr. Riley?
Aye.
Mrs. Troop? Mrs. Zimmershed?
Aye.
8.5, consider and take action on change order number 1 for the baseball field improvements.
Motion to approve. 8.5.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Full vote.
Mr. Newsom?
Aye.
Mr. Riley?
Aye.
Mrs. Tree?
Aye.
Mrs. Zimmershed?
Aye.
Dr. Kincaid?
Aye. 8.6, consider and take action on the following contract agreements. A, agreement with Gallup Consulting for teacher insight and principal insight. B, agreement with OneNet for internet service. C, agreement with Eisenkrep Elevator for traveling cable in the cafeteria elevator at the high school. D, agreement with BK Black Inc. to be our CCTV provider.
We discussed these properties, so,
In depth.
yeah, in depth. I make a motion to approve 8.6 A through D.
Second.
Discussion. Vote.
Riley?
Aye.
Mrs. True? Aye. Mrs. Zimmershed?
Aye.
Dr. Kincaid?
Aye.
Mr. Newsom?
Aye.
8.7, motion and vote to convene an executive session for the following purposes. Discuss the possible termination, reassignment, resignation, employment of personnel on the attached detailed personnel report. Discuss confidential conversations with the board's attorney concerning pending claims and litigation. Discuss the purchase of appraised or real property located at 1201 West Grand, and to discuss negotiations. Motion.
Yes, motion approved. Executive session 8.7.
Oh.
Mrs. True? Aye. Mrs. Zimmershed?
Aye.
Dr. Kincaid?
Aye.
Mr. Newsom?
Aye.
Mr. Riley?
Aye.
We'll adjourn for executive session. We'll return to open session. 8.9, recited by board president. The minutes in the executive session were kept by the board minutes clerk and remain confidential. 8.10, consider and take action on recommendation for termination, reassignment, resignation, employment of personnel.
Motion to approve 8.10.
Motion's been made. Second.
I will motion to second it.
Okay, any discussion? We'll vote.
Mrs. Zimmershed?
Aye.
Dr. Kincaid?
Aye.
Mr. Newsom?
Aye.
Mr. Riley?
Aye.
Mrs. True?
8.11, consider and take action on the purchase of real property located 1201 West Grand, Ponca City, Oklahoma.
Motion to approve at 8.11.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. Vote.
Dr. Kincaid?
Aye.
Mr. Newsom?
Aye.
Mr. Riley?
Aye.
Mrs. True? Aye. Mrs. Zimmershed?
Aye.
Number 9, new business.
No new business.
Motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I will second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.